question to you. What if I told you that you're part of the largest game in the world, and you didn't even know it? Your friends and family are playing this game, your favorite celebrities are playing this game, and I'm playing this game along with you. The game I'm referring to is the game of social media. It's Snapchat, it's Instagram, it's Twitter, it's texting, it's FaceTiming, it's even playing our favorite video games. It's any way that we socialize through technology. And the great thing about it is that it's here to stay. It's not going away. You see, I believe that social media can truly be one of the most positive influences in our lives if we can use it for good. And over the past few years, I've been so thrilled to team up and work with over 40,000 students across the country around thinking about how we use social media and technology positively. And we developed a way of thinking about it, which is the game of social media. And just like any game that you love playing, social media is also a game that we could win or we could lose. Now hear me out. Growing up, I got a phone at age 13, and I can empathize with a lot of the students in the audience today that I've heard so much about the losses that come from social media, how it could ruin our reputation, we could bring down others, or we could be known for just having our heads down in our devices. And on top of that is that parents, when they tend to focus on the losses, they usually emphasize all the don'ts around social media. And see if any of these sound familiar to you. Don't post this, don't join that app, don't be part of that group chat, don't post anything you wouldn't want your grandmother or teacher to see on social. And my talk today is going to flip the script and instead focus on how social media could be one of the biggest influences, one of the most positive influences in our lives if we can win at it and use it positively. I believe that we can use social media to represent our character and our values and to strengthen our reputation. Rather than bringing down others, we can have each other's backs online. We can use social media to propel us into amazing opportunities that we don't even know about a couple of years from now. And rather than bringing others down, we could change our world for the better. It's more important than ever to win at social media because the stakes are high today in this game. When you start playing, no matter what app you're on or whatever device you're using, you have to remember a few things. The latest study by Kaplan Test Prep showed that 1 in 4 colleges now believe social media is fair game to check during the college admissions process. And no matter if you're a 6th grader or an 8th grader or a 12th grader, what we share sticks around. Now, if you told me that stat a few years ago, I would have said, see, maybe that's why we really got to be careful and watch what we post. But now I hear that stat and I think, man, what an amazing reason to be on social media so you could share your 360 self. Or, for us adults, using social media, 5 in 10 employers now won't even take an interview with us unless they can find us online. That's the future, that's where this is going. And before I talk about how we win at this game, I want to emphasize how much this game is woven into our lives. Students are playing this game a whole lot. And I'm looking at students in the crowd today. You're synced up, and the latest study shows that on average, students are behind a screen an average of 9 hours each day. Now, adults though aren't far behind the students. When Common Sense Media did the same study with parents, they found that parents clocked in at 9 hours and 22 minutes, right? And so I want to, because social media and technology are woven throughout our life, let's talk about how we can make positive, high character choices with a device in our hand. I believe that it's all about living up to high standards and setting the bar high whenever we're using a device. And there's 7 standards I challenge you to think about if you use social media or use any device. The first one is about playing to your core. It's about making sure you click send on things that represent your values and your character. The second one is about protecting your privacy, kind of like you're famous. Because there's some information that you just simply need to keep locked down and you don't want to put into the hands of anyone else out there. The third one is about striking the balance. It's about knowing when are the moments that we can have our eyes down, looking at devices, but also importantly, when we can have our eyes up, whether that's at the family dinner table or whether you're behind the wheel of a car. It's all about having balance in our life. The fourth one is about cyberbacking, and it's the straight opposite of cyberbullying. Rather than emphasizing, don't cyberbully or don't bring others down, which is, certainly important. Instead, flip it and let's have each other's backs online and standing up for someone if you see them being put down. The next one is about building a strong team. It's the idea that in many ways, you are who you surround yourself with. And that goes for who you're following in your feed, too. When I was 16 years old, I wanted to play for the junior women's national team. And I was, a student up in Northeast Pennsylvania, and in my hometown, there were certainly role models that I had, but social media allowed me to follow so many other role models that set the bar high for me each and every day. The second to last one is this, and students, I'm looking at you because I know you already know this one well. It's the belief that social media is like a microphone in our hands. It's louder than this microphone, and it's louder than any other microphone we'll ever be in front of, because it connects us with hundreds, if not thousands, if not millions of people around the world. And parents, that can kind of be frightening to know that we have such a powerful microphone in our hands every day. But if we can use that microphone for good, there's so many wonderful, outcomes that can come from that. And then the last standard is about huddling often. Parents didn't grow up with this technology, and therefore, out of good intentions, right, they might feel the need to helicopter and watch, see what we're, clicking send on, or to spy on different group chats and all. But I think students today need to take control of the situation and huddle with their parents, huddle with each other, and hold your friends and your parents accountable to these 7 standards and prove to them that social media and technology could be positive. Marian Wright Edelman is an American activist for children's rights, and she shared an idea that really speaks to me, which is this idea that you can't be what you can't see. And surely, if we don't see people using social media positively in the world today, how are we expected to use social media positively ourselves? When I was, a 13-year-old and growing up with social media, if I can't see positive examples in the world, I'm less likely, to be inspired to use social positively myself. And so I want to introduce you to 3 stories of students who, much like the students today, are using their voice for change in the world, and they're using it through social media. I want to introduce you to 11-year-old Marley Titus. Marley walked into her school library one day, and she noticed a big problem. She was working on a book report, and she realized that there were no books that she could check out in her library that represented a young African-American girl like her. And clearly, that's a problem. I gotta do something about it. And so she went home, and keep in mind, she's 11 years old, right? 13 years old is the minimum age limit for most apps. And so she huddled with her mom and said, Mom, I gotta do something about this. What if we started a campaign on Instagram? And the name she came up with was #1000BlackGirlBooks. And her goal was collecting 1,000 books, and surely through social media, she did, thanks to the support of her family, thanks to the support of her school, and then eventually the word got out to people across the country, thanks to social media, not in spite of it. The second student I want to introduce you to is 14-year-old Isis Brown. Isis would walk into her middle school every day and be taunted by her fellow classmates because of her first name. Now think about that. Think about that feeling of walking into a place that should be safe and comforting, and instead you're being taunted by classmates because of a name that you were given and have for the last 14 years. What Isis did something about it by going to YouTube and sharing a very heartfelt message about how much those words impacted her. And she spoke to people who were being bullied, not only at her school, but students across the country, and said, if you're feeling the same way that I am, be the bigger person and don't respond to people, lashing out like that. And her video hit home with so many students throughout the country, again, thanks to social media, not in spite of it. And the last story that I'd like to share, again, students, you know this story well, are the students in Parkland, Florida, who are using social media to change and promote a cause that they care about. Now, no matter where you stand on the gun reform debate, there is no question that these students are taking to Snapchat and Instagram and Twitter, and they're using social media like a microphone with the skills that they've developed, these social skills that are truly 21st century social skills. And I like ending on that point because I'd like to offer you a challenge as I close my talk today. And I specifically want to address the students that are in the audience who I've had the pleasure of working with leading up to this event. And it's that if we think about how we can positively change our world, there is no bigger microphone that you'll ever have than social media. And now you might be on certain apps now, or you might join them 2 or 3 or 4 years from now. But whenever you get access to this game, know that you're going to be the change that we want to see in the world. This change is not going to come from parents lecturing us on all the don'ts around social media and technology. The change is going to come from you. And I'm so excited, to see more students focusing on making winning, positive choices that make our world a better place. It's the biggest game in the world. It's one that you're playing every single day. And so let's make these winning, high character choices each and every day. And so I'd like to end on 2 words as we go out and play this game, which are game on. Thank you, everyone.